channel. Yay. This is a 45-minute Vinyasa practice, and we're working with twists, such as the week. So starting off in a child's pose. Bring the knees out nice and wide. And reaching the arms long, let the hips come down. And then just starting off here, starting to notice your breath. You're going to slow your breath down. And as we're in a child's pose, you need to bring the breath awareness to the back of the body, or the back ribs. As you inhale, feel that expansion through the ribs. And exhale, the sinking down. And then starting to reach through your fingertips, to the elbows, extending your sit bones down towards the heels. And taking 5 full rounds of breath here. Noticing the length and the size of the body. And how the back is feeling this morning, the hips as you sink your hips towards your heels. Without any force, just letting the weight gently start to drop down. And then after that first exhalation, take a halfway lift. You're gazing towards your hands. And start to walk the hands all the way over towards your right, towards the here. Lifting the belly slightly and extend a little longer. And maybe reaching out through that left hand, you might like to bring the right hand down beside the knee, tuck the head, and sink in. So you add a little extra to your side extension or this little stretch. Take a nice full breath here. This time thinking about breathing into the side body. And then lifting the gaze, reaching the arms out, start to walk it all the way back. This time over towards the left. Extend that left hand, the right hand, and then left hand might come down beside you, pressing into the floor. Find a little more depth down that side body. You're not forcing, so you still want to have your sit bones sinking towards the heels. And the breath might move more into the side ribs. So the back and the side ribs, looking for that expansion in space. Take one more full inhale. And exhale, walking back through center. This time, lifting all the way up, finding a tabletop position. So spreading your fingers, have your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Start to move through cat-cow, belly drops, arching the spine, lift and lengthen. And then exhale, curl it around, press the floor away, and really pressing down through that index knuckle, thumb knuckle, hugging the thumbs in. Inhale, belly drops. Lengthen through the collarbones as you hug the elbows underneath slightly. Then maybe staying with this breath rhythm, but keep moving on your breath, up and belly from your cat to cow. Starting to bring space and fluidity into the spine. Taking it out to the side, slightly just noticing any areas that feel tight. And then coming into your neutral spine, stay in tabletop, but we're going to turn the hands so the fingertips are facing towards the knees. And then for a moment, just gently leaning back, get that nice lengthening through the forearms, and then drawing forward. See how far you can go, pressing down through the heel of the hand, and exhale, draw back. Inhale forward, so stretch through those wrists. Coming all the way forward, turn your hands back to face the front. Tuck the toes, and then walk yourself back into your toe squat. Tucking one of the toes underneath. Give your hands a little shake for a moment. And then interlacing your fingers, extend the arms up overhead, reach tall. And notice if there's this arch that's coming into the back, and try and extend through the arms and think front ribs drawing down towards the hips. Keep the weight sinking back into the heels, extending through the side body. And then releasing the hands, slide forward. Maybe you give your feet a shake on the floor. And then spreading the hands so index finger faces forward, tuck the toes, lifting up and come into downward facing dog. Beautiful. And then from your down dog, just start to peel the feet, sinking, bending to the right and the left knee. Continue to press down through your hands, so really feeling that connection of the index knuckle and the thumb knuckle pressing into the floor. And then hugging your elbows in, pushing your sit bones high. As you find stillness in your down dog, rise onto the toes. And then drop both heels over towards the right side. Sinking the heels down. Keep pressing through the hands, sending your sit bones high. Rising up onto the toes. And coming over towards the left. Sink the heels down. Beautiful. Rising up onto the toes. And then gazing forward, find little steps to get all the way to the top of the mat. Bend the knees deeply as you need to start, especially if you're practicing in the morning. Clasp opposite elbows and hang forward. And so you want to try and find a connection of your belly towards your thighs. You have that deep bend in the knees and then grounding through the feet. So really think about pressing down through the ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe, straight down to the center of the heel as you fold. And then maybe rocking the head from side to side, releasing the neck. One more breath here. And then let the hands come down, ground through your feet, keep that bend at the knees and slowly come all the way up to stand. Arms extend up overhead, palms together, lift the chest, and hands through heart center. So Namaskar A, walk the feet in so big toes come together. Inhale, big reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping back to your high plank position. And then for a moment in your high plank, press the floor away, little rock forward and back. So feel your shoulders shift over the wrist, draw your belly in, activate through the backs of the legs. And in this first one, as you shift forward, either knees down or just lowering through chaturanga, coming all the way down to the ground. Onto your belly, release the toes, pressing to the tops of the feet first. Extend the arms back beside you. Lift upper body, so we're coming through locust pose. And then if that feels good, floating your feet as well. Extend, keep the neck nice and long. Holding here for another 3. Draw the belly button in, so you're lifting up 2. And 1, release. Hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes. Maybe you come through a child's pose or use your knees, or if it's there, press down through the hands, push all the way up to high plank, and then back to your downward facing dog. Alright, beautiful, rising onto the toes, gazing forward, either step, walk, or if you feel ready, a little hop, top of your mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, ground through the feet, coming all the way up. Palms together, lift the chest, and hands through heart center. Again, like this. Inhale to rise. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, half lift. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step or hop maybe back to your high plank. Little shift forward, either using your knees or coming down through chaturanga, elbows over wrists. Inhale, upward facing or your cobra, roll the shoulders back, lift and lengthen. Exhale, downward facing dog. And just pausing in your down dog, pressing the floor away. And then rising up onto the toes once again. Gazing forward, step, walk, maybe a little hop, top of your mat. Exhale, fold. And take 2 more rounds like this. Ground through the feet. Inhale, rise. All the way up. Palms together, lift the chest. And hands draw through heart center. On your breath, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Hands to shins. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step or hop, high plank. And then moving through, so feel that shift beyond your wrists, elbows in as you lower. Exchange the tops of the feet or maybe your baby cobra, lift and lengthen. Keep active through your legs, active through pressing down through your hands, and then rolling up and back, downward facing dog. And then bringing the awareness back to your breath as you sink into your down dog. You regulate, find that rhythm once again. And then rising onto the toes, gaze forward, step, walk or a little hop. Top of the mat, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Coming all the way up. Palms together, lift the chest. And hands through heart center. Again, inhale, last one here, Surya Namaskar. Lift up and fold. Half lift. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step or hop back, high plank. Moving through your vinyasa on your breath, letting the breath really initiate the movements as you come through. And downward facing dog. And this time, pausing in your down dog, we're going to step it in a little bit closer, so find a narrower down dog. And then grounding through your left hand, take your right hand back towards your left ankle, or maybe your calf, wherever you can reach. So you find a twist in your down dog and turn your gaze under your left shoulder, your left armpit-ish. Then release that right hand, place it back down. Ground through your right hand, take your left hand back and twist. And release. Place that hand back down. Bring your down dog to its regular distance once again. And then reaching your right leg high. You're going to take a scorpion dog. So stack and open the hips. As you bend that right knee, draw your right heel towards your left buttock, lifting your knee. And then maybe rising right up onto the left toes, find a little more height. Then keep this height in your bent knee and draw your right knee towards your right elbow. All the way forward. Maybe you tap the elbow. And then inhale up and back, open into scorpion dog. Exhale, you rise onto the left toes, draw that knee in underneath, you take it to the left elbow, little tap. Inhale up and back, open into your scorpion dog. And then exhale, place that right foot down. Back into your downward facing dog. Left side, left leg reaches. Open out, scorpion dog, stack the hips. Feel that knee lifting up, draw your left heel towards the right buttock, push the floor away. And then take left knee underneath you, so rise onto the right toes, draw left knee to left elbow. Inhale up and back, open into your scorpion dog. Rising onto the toes. And again, this time knee comes over towards the right elbow. Inhale up and back, scorpion dog. And then you can extend that leg straight as you bring it all the way down, downward facing dog. Gazing forward, rising onto your toes, step, walk, or maybe a little hop, top of your mat. So you're here, keep your feet hip distance apart, bend the knees, and then lifting one foot at a time, bring your hands underneath your feet. Yeah, so drop the head down, try and bend enough so that your belly is connected to the thighs, like we did to start with, so that you've actually got space for your hands to come underneath. Maybe you wriggle your toes a little bit to release out through the wrists. And taking a nice full inhale here. And exhale. Releasing the hands. Keep your feet about hip distance apart. And then start to bend your knees, sink back, and we'll find Utkatasana from here. So chair pose, send the buttocks back a little more. Maybe your arms come wider like you're holding onto a giant bubble, just to give yourself space to open across the chest. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Toe heel your feet together. Big toes touch. So Utkatasana again, but with our feet together. So sinking back down, chair pose. Now it's going to be one to start. Squeeze the inner legs together. Draw your hands through heart center. Sink back a little deeper. We're going to take the left elbow, cross it over the right knee, and find a twist. So you twist the chair pose, pressing through the palms, and opening out to the collarbones to really create that space. You gaze down, reach up. Keep chairing your legs, but extend your arms up. Palms together, sink through center. This time, right elbow crosses over left knee, twist. And then shelf, and then having a look at what happens to your knees. So try and keep them flush, but you can see what happens if your right knee comes forward. But look at that activation of the belly drawing in and squeezing your inner thighs together. Beautiful. Inhale, reach, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shin, halfway lift. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step, maybe hop back, either down dog or through your vinyasa. Shifting forward, chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing dog. Okay, same starting, so reach that right leg high. And we'll take scorpion dog once again, stack and open the hips. And then rising onto your left toes, keep that bend in the knee, draw right knee to right elbow. Inhale, up and back, open into your scorpion dog. Right knee underneath to the left elbow. Inhale, up and back. Scorpion dog. Now either hold here, or if you feel ready, you feel warm enough through your back, start to roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. And like you're coming in slow motion, maybe your right toes come down, lift up and open into wild thing. Then gaze turns down, exhale, start to transition back. Right leg reaches high. Gaze in between the hands, step your right foot in between the hands. Let your back heel drop down, so we're going to set up for warrior one, and arms reach up. And so warrior one, you somewhat want your hips going in the direction of your front foot. If it feels like it's really stuck and you're facing back, just step this right foot out a little wider, or more towards the right. Reach the arms up, lift the chest, maybe you lift your gaze. Beautiful. Draw your hands through heart center, and this back foot starts to rise onto your back toes. You come into a crescent lunge. Pressing your palms, sink a little deeper, and then lengthen forward like we did in our chair. We're going to take the left elbow across the right knee and twist. So you find this twisted crescent lunge here, pressing out through the back heel as much as you can, and sending the back hamstring up towards the ceiling. Beautiful, opening out. One more full breath here. And then reaching the arms up once again, like crescent lunge. Lift through your legs. Open out and then drop the back heel. This time come into warrior two. So you can adjust your feet. It's more like a heel to arch, but just seeing where you can actually see the big toe of your front foot and press the knee away. So it might be walking the foot a little more into center. And then turn your front palm and reverse the warrior back. Beautiful. Exhale, windmill the hands down, framing your foot, rising onto the back toes, and then stepping it through any modifications you have for your vinyasa. Maybe straight to down dog or through chaturanga. And as you get to your down dog, pausing, come back to your breath. Keep pressing through your hands. Notice if they've lifted up, try and press through that index knuckle, thumb knuckle. And then left leg rises, reaching it up. Open out, find your scorpion dog. Rising onto those right toes, and this time keep the bend. Draw your left knee towards the left elbow, center forward. Inhale, up and back, stack, open the hips. Taking your left knee towards your right elbow underneath. Inhale, up and back. Scorpion dog, once again opening out. An option if you want to come all the way over. Like you're moving in slow motion, roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Left toes come down, and then press the hips so you're opening out the front line of the body. Gaze comes down, exhale as we return. Reach the left leg high. Gazing forward, step that left foot in between the hands. Back heel down, arms reach up, inhale. Warrior one, finding your stance. So you can always take hold of the hips, see where they are. And it's not a matter of forcing, but just adjusting so you can take the stance out a little bit wider to create space, and the arms can come out wider to create space for the chest and the shoulders to open and expand. Then a light drawing in of your belly. Hands come through heart center. Rise up onto the back toes. So reset the legs. There's more of a scissoring action so you can hug the inner thighs. Then activating your back leg, extend forward slightly. Right elbow this time comes over the left knee, and then twist. So like we did in our twisted chair, pressing the elbow to knee, really extending through that back leg, pressing out through the heel, and down through the front foot. One more breath here. And as you inhale, reach the arms. We're going to open out. So rise up onto the back foot so you can drop the heel down. Lift your hips and open into warrior two. And check in with this front leg. If your knee is collapsing in, maybe you bring the foot into the center line more, or just start to press that knee away. Enough space so you can open, turn your front palm, maybe a little reach, reverse the warrior back. Then gaze forward, windmill your hands down, framing the foot, maybe through your vinyasa, or straight back to downward facing dog. Once you get to down dog, either holding here for 3 breaths, or bringing your knees back down, going into child's pose for 3 breaths. So just taking a moment, settling, using these moments of stillness in between to bring your awareness back to your breath. A lot of times as we move a little faster, the breath gets left behind. Your full inhale. Exhale here. And then inhale, rising up, downward facing dog. So we're going to take a very similar round of flow, but with a few little add-ons from here. So right leg rises. Take it into your scorpion dog. Again, draw right knee towards right elbow. Cinch forward, press down through the hands. Inhale, up and back. Open into your scorpion dog. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, up and back. This time extend the leg straight, reaching it up. Gazing forward, step the foot through. Back heel comes down once again, and warrior one. Lifting up. Really think about the blade edge of the back foot. You're trying to press it down, but it's a lift through the back arch. So you're grounding to the 3 points of contact of each foot. Hands come through heart center. Rise onto the back toes once again. Sink into your crescent lunge. Lengthen forward, and we take it into the twist. And feel this beautiful lift. So the belly's drawing away from the thighs. You press through your hands, lengthen the collarbones. And then turn the gaze towards your right foot. You're going to start to shift the weight into your right foot, and then see how you can step your left foot up to meet your right at the top of the mat. Nice. Sink down, twisted chair. And if you have a little more space here in your twisted chair, you might be able to extend the arms open. Okay, so don't force anything, but if you can, you open out and reach, maybe turn your gaze up. Beautiful. One more full breath here. Again, right through the back body. like the back ribs expanding and opening. And then palms come back together, gaze at your right foot. Now you're going to do this as slow as you possibly can, and if you need to, always just bring the fingertips back down. But otherwise, draw your weight to your right foot. Start to lift your left heel like you're trying to squeeze it in towards your buttocks. And then maybe you extend back and see if you can find balance here on the right foot. And then placing it back down to your crescent lunge. As you're there, inhale, lift up, reach the arms, open it out, warrior two. Like nothing happened. Little reach, turn your palm, reverse your warrior back. Keep that nice bend into the front knee, extend through your top hand, reach. And then exhale, windmill the hands down. Rising up, again, either downward facing dog or through your vinyasa, anything else you're working on to bring you through your flow. Might just be down to child's pose in between. Beautiful, feet up this in. We'll take that into our left side once again. The left leg rises, reaching up. Open into your scorpion dog once again. And then rising onto the right toes, draw that left knee towards left elbow. Inhale, up and back, scorpion dog. Exhale, left knee towards the right elbow. Inhale, up and back, and now extend that leg straight. Beautiful, gaze forward, step it in between the hands. Back heel comes down, and we find our warrior one. Lifting the chest, pressing down through the blade edge of the back foot. Hands draw through heart center, rise onto the back toes, crescent lunge. Lengthen forward and take that twist. Right elbow over left knee. Run a little catch, so you've got something to press into. Elbow into knee, knee into elbow. Lifting the belly button towards the spine, lengthening the collarbones. And then turning your gaze down, shift the weight to that left foot. Think about a hug in through the inner thighs, and then step forward, top of the mat. And using anything else you need to get there. But wriggling into your twisted chair. So if you need to kind of sneak that arm down to find a little more space, go for it. And if you went there on the other side, maybe opening the arms out. Beautiful, bring your hands back together. Gazing down once again, the smooth transition as much as you can. Ground through that left foot, start to lift your right heel in towards the buttock. Maybe extend it back for a moment, and then step for your crescent lunge. And then reach the arms up, lift, open out, warrior two. Roll the shoulders, press that front knee away, extend. Little reach, turn the palm, take it back. Reverse warrior, extending through the fingertips. And exhale, windmill the hands down. Frame your foot, any vinyasa you're working with. Again, your option, down dog. Moving through if you have three-legged variations, handstand variations, so you what works for you. And then meeting in our downward facing dog. Taking a nice full inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. One more like that, grounding breath in through your nose. And exhale out the mouth. Beautiful, right leg rises, reaching it up, more underflow here. Extend that right leg high. And then stepping your right foot in between the hands. Voila. This time dropping your back heel down for warrior two straight away, opening out. All the shoulders back, sinking in. Set your waist, set the shape of your legs, and then again, turn the front palm, reverse the warrior back. And this time we're going to take it into our side angle pose. So right arm comes forward, right elbow to the knee, The thumb can reach straight up. Then you sweep it down in front and bring it alongside the ear. Okay, that's a nice way of coming in. Or of course your hand can come down to the inside, maybe the outside edge of that foot. You can always bring in a block for a little more support. As you gaze out that front foot, just make sure the knee here hasn't started to collapse in. Again, that will be when you brought your foot in a little bit closer, or just pressing it away. Beautiful. Left hand comes to the hip. Gazing forward. If you're using your block, take it with you. Otherwise, step halfway forward. About here. Now again, your block would come out, and you're going to take your right hand about a 45-degree angle away from your right foot, and then start to lift your left leg up. Okay, half moon pose. The left hand gets down the hip first to find that stacking as you press through the heel, and then maybe reach the top arm, and maybe even float your bottom hand. Beautiful, expanding in all 5 directions. Take a nice full inhale. And then fingertips come back down if they come off the floor. Let your left hand come down and mindfully start to square the hips towards the floor. Bending your right knee slightly, ground through the foot and come all the way up to stand on your right foot. Lifting this knee, maybe you interlace the fingers, lift the chest. And then holding onto this knee with your right hand, you might extend the left arm back and take a twist. If you're a little bit more of a flexy human, you can take the outer edge of that left foot with your right hand and reach back. Maybe, right? There you go, you've got to try. Otherwise you get the same action because you're looking for this twist through the center part of the back. Then gaze comes forward, reach the arms for a moment, whoop, and then we're going to extend all the way back. Maybe like you're coming through warrior 3. Plant the hands. If you've got little hops, you can take them. Otherwise, moving through your vinyasa, either low or straight into your downward facing dog. We need to go to settle the breath and find center, find this center line once again before we take it into the left side. Beautiful. And then downward facing dog, left leg rises. And step that left foot in between the hands. That heel comes down, windmill open, and we'll find warrior 2. Okay, roll the shoulders back, pressing down to the blade edge of your back foot. Little reach, turn your palm, keep that same shape in the legs, and move into warrior 2. It's not really a matter of how deep you're going, more about trying to find that activation and foundation as you're lifting from your feet up. Side angle pose, lift elbow to the knee, down. You can have the arm reaching straight up, bringing it alongside the ear. Pressing through that back foot or the belly in lightly. And if you went there, maybe your hand comes down a little further. You use your block wherever you went on the other side. Beautiful. Right hand to the hip. Gazing forward. Step halfway forward that is, and your left hand comes out. So again on that 45-degree angle, option to use the block. As you lift, right hand maybe rests on the hip to find the shape. You might extend that top arm up. You might even float your bottom hand. Yeah, but opening and expanding, really pressing through your right heel as you're floating that leg off the ground. Beautiful. Till you gaze down. Gently let this top hand come down and mindfully start to square your hips towards the floor. Easing that through. Then a little bend of your left knee so you can push down through your left foot and come all the way up to standing. Knee draws in, interlace the fingers, lift the chest. And then option, this left hand will come to the right knee, find your twist. Beautiful. If you went for the full variation, go for it again, otherwise here is a beautiful expression of the pose. And slowly making your way back. Keep that bend, reach the knee, so reach the arms, lift. And exhale all the way back. Plant your hands down, maybe your little hops, anything you're working on. Maybe straight into down dog. Through a vinyasa. But this time, once you get back, we'll all meet in child's pose once again. So you can do child's pose again in between the rounds of flow, regain your breath. With awareness, I should say. And then if you would prefer, you can stay right here in child's pose. Otherwise, we're going to come up into our dolphin pose this morning. So spreading the fingers, leave elbows underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, and lifting up. And it might be that you just stay right here and take about 3 to 5 breaths, really pressing down to the elbows. So you want your head off the ground, press your chest back. You may even play with rising onto the toes and walking your feet in a little closer. If you would like more of a challenge this morning, walk your feet in as close as you can. That may mean having a bend in your knees. And then take your right hand back to your right ankle. Okay. This is just if you want the extra challenge. And then if you're feeling really amazing, ground for that right foot, pulling your right foot leg towards you. See if you can float the left leg off the ground. When you find your dolphin strut here. Otherwise you might just be in your dolphin. If you took it to the right side, you want your dolphin strut on the left. Make sure you take your left hand back to your left ankle. Find this grip first, so it's not like a band-aid. You want to really sit into the center line, feel strong. Squeeze in, fix your gaze. You've got that really kind of stubborn, just your point of awareness. And then maybe the right foot floats up. Nice. Yes. It's a really beautiful posture to keep this connection through the line, although at times very frustrating. So you've done that on the left. Oh, nice work. And letting it go. Beautiful. And we'll just come back to our dolphin pose for a moment. Lift up, and then from your dolphin, power down through your hands and come all the way into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. And then reach your right leg high. You're going to step your right foot through. It doesn't need to come all the way to the top. It's pretty much wherever it lands. It can be kind of halfway. Grounding down through your right foot, rise into your fingertips. Start to extend your left leg up. So you might be just in a warrior 3, you're grounding through your right foot, and otherwise start to fold like you're coming into standing splits. Beautiful. So it's not about how high this top leg gets, think more about the squeezing in of your inner thighs as you start to come down. Maybe you take a half bind where your right hand comes behind your right ankle. Maybe you even play with the full bind. Your left hand comes as well. Nice. And then fingertips to the floor. Halfway left, we're going to transition into our twisted seated twist here. So a little bend of your right knee. Pull your left knee in behind you. You're squeezing the legs. And then come all the way down. So left shin comes to the floor. And you take a seat. Might not work. That's okay. Just sit down. So it'll be your left leg, if you got confused, is out straight. Your right foot is over the top. You take your left leg long. Yeah. And then you can bend that left knee beside you. You don't have to though. Keep it there. Yeah. Interlace the hands around the knee. Lift and lengthen. And find this nice reach through the crown of the head. You might stay right here. Or you're going to bring your left arm around the right knee. Start to twist. So you're moving from the center of the back. As you come around, right fingertips to the floor. And then maybe you turn your gaze as well. And if you have any deeper variations of the pose, it might be that the elbow comes over, or you have a bind going there. And just taking 2 more full breaths. Slowly releasing back through center. Twist in the opposite direction, little counter twist. And then back, releasing your legs for a moment. You may like these windscreen wipers or shaking the legs out. And then you can transition into your down dog whoever you'd like. We'll offer the option of coming up into Navasana. Moment of pause, then either sweep your feet or cross your ankles, take it back. You can hop through your Vinyasa or just step right back into your downward facing dog. Any variation you have to get there. Nice. And just ready for our left side, so left leg rises. Step that left foot again. It doesn't have to come all the way to the top. Just want to place the foot down, rise onto your fingertips, start with a bend, and then lifting, so you're grounding through that left foot, reach the right leg high, standing splits. Okay, so again, it might be here. It doesn't have to be super high, especially if your hamstrings are quite tight, or you can use your blocks for your hands. So feel that scissoring, that squeezing in, so you're not leaning out to one side, and maybe you play with the bind again. Your left hand comes back, you squeeze it enough, maybe your right hand. Beautiful, and then fingertips to the floor, little halfway lift, bending through that left leg, then draw your right knee in behind, somewhat smoothly come to the floor, so you place the top of the right shin and then lower all the way down, and adjust as you need to. But that means you're not taking this leg beside you, you're going to have the right leg extended out long, left foot comes over the top, being here, and otherwise swooping that right foot behind you. Make sure your sit bones are grounded down, interlace the fingers, lift and lengthen. And then you can stay right here, or wrapping the right hand around the knee, begin to twist. So moving from the thoracic spine, left fingertips come down, lengthen, maybe you turn your gaze as well. Try and think about moving from the back first so that the cervical spine, the upper of your neck, isn't taking all the twist for you. Okay? If you went there, the elbow comes over, or a bind, anything else you're working with. Beautiful, and then release it back in the opposite direction. Little counter twist. Coming forward, legs come out. Place your feet down. Any action you might like to really lift and open the chest back as you rock the knees from side to side. Beautiful. And then feet come out, arms beside you, and curl all the way down. On your back, taking any last movements here. If you want to just bring your knees in, like a nice rock from side to side. You may like a happy baby pose or a spinal twist. Anything your body is asking for. And finish up our practice. And taking your time, but once you're ready, extending the legs out long, feet are heavy, roll the shoulders back, palms facing up. And just closing down your eyes, allowing the body to be heavy as you're ready. Starting to release the weight of your body into the mat, into the earth. Just enjoy these moments of all the work we've done in the last 45 minutes to settle and integrate into your experience. you're at home and you have longer to stay in Shavasana, staying here. Otherwise, trying to bring the awareness back to your breath, to breathing, inviting little movements into your fingers and toes. And then gently stretching through the arms, the legs. Making your way over onto one side, pausing for a moment. And coming all the way up to a seated position to close our class together. Having a nice long spine, bringing the hands to heart center, and maybe resting down on the knees. Close on a single breath, in through the nose. And exhale, sighing it out the mouth. Thank you for joining me, practicing. Beautiful day. And namaste.
Namaste.